All right, hey Will. So for this video, I played 100 red rank killer games of DBD, and I just kind of went through all my what I found to be the most interesting stats and facts, and just kind of wanted to bounce them off you, and you let me know what you think or what you presumed. And yeah, so I figured what we would do is we would start with like the survivor perks to show what I was up against. I played 100 games, and so playing 100 games, I played against 400 survivors, and that means there was possibly 1,600 slots, right, of survivor perks that they could have used. There's a possibility that they could have used how many survivor perks are available right now? There's 86 available at this time of the video, survivor perks that they could have chosen. So as a rank one survivor, that's what you are right now, Will, right?
One or two in and
One or
around
two.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it bounces around. But you're playing the game a lot. Like you see a lot of different perks. You try a bunch of different builds yourself. So what
Yes.
I figured we would do is we'd show what I was up against. And if maybe kind of like Family Feud style, you try to like guess the top 10 perks that I played against. So I have it
Oof.
all marked down. So we'll do kind of like Family Feud, like I said. So like, how about you? If you get three wrong, then you lose, and the game ends, and we just see how many you got out of the 10.
Sure. Sure.
So yeah, whenever you're good, you could just, I guess, start guessing what you think is in the top 10. I'll let you know if it is or isn't.
Okay. Okay. Great. So I'll start off with Decisive Strike.
DS, yes. So that is number two. That was the
Number
second
two,
most used. Yeah. So you got that one. Nice.
Dead Hard.
Dead Hard. Yeah. That was number three.
Number three, yeah. Unbreakable.
No. Unbreakable was
No
not in
Unbreakable.
the top 10. So
Okay.
that's
Good.
one
Good.
X.
Okay. Um, Borrowed Time.
Yeah, that was number one.
Number one was
Most
Borrowed Time.
used. Yeah.
Interesting.
So you
Okay.
got the top three right off that.
All right. Let's see now what else we can get here. uh, Sprint Burst.
Yeah, that's number seven.
Okay. Life.
Life is number eight. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Um, um, Maybe Windows of Opportunity.
No. Nope.
Nope.
That is
Okay.
your
No
second
Windows.
X. So we
All
get
right.
one more. We end there. We
All
end at
right.
number
One
five.
more, eh?
Yeah.
Everything's escaping me, of course, right
Yeah.
now.
Do you have a list in front of you of like what are options, or are you just going off the top of your head?
Top of my head.
Okay.
Um, Trying to think here. Iron Will.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, of
Iron
course.
U. That's four. That's fourth.
That's fourth. Okay. Okay. Um, Geez, one more shot. The pressure is on. Okay. Let's see here. Don't want to hold everything up.
Oh, it's okay.
Prove Thyself.
Yeah. Number nine.
Prove Thyself made it
Nice.
on the list.
Yeah,
Eh?
it did.
Interesting. Okay. Um, Adrenaline.
Yes. Number six.
Oh my God. Okay.
Nice.
Getting lucky here. Those
Yeah,
were a
you
few
just got
risky
number
ones.
five and number 10 left.
Ooh,
You've only got two left. Yeah, you've
interesting.
done great.
Interesting. Okay. Um, I'm gonna have to go into left field. Deception?
Oh, deception. No. Okay,
No? Okay.
that's your third X. Wow. Great job. The other two, so you got 8 out of 10. Yeah, nice job of
Nice.
just knowing what
Thank you.
is, I guess, in the meta, the current, what's in the top 10. So number five was Spine Chill.
Oh my, of course.
Yeah. And then number 10, this one surprised me because I have never used it. We're Gonna Live Forever.
Oh wow, that made it to top 10. Good. I'm
It
happy to see
did.
that.
Yeah. Do you
People
use that
find
one?
it. I do. I do. I very much like, especially with the buff. It's a very, very strong perk,
What
especially
is
during team
what
times.
is it good for? Not just like points, right? Not just blood points, but
That's
like
right.
something
So
else.
aside from the bonus blood points you collect post trial, you also, if a teammate is slugged, you can
Uh-huh.
increase healing speed by 100%,
Yeah, okay.
and also get protection hit stacks rather than just unhook stacks
Okay.
or
Yes.
tokens.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Well, yeah, great job. If you want to open up that document I sent you, this should be the first thing. So it shows you all of the perks that were used and in the
Okay.
order. If you want to just check that out and let me know if you see anything on there. What did you say? Deception?
I did only because I feel like recently I've seen I've seen a lot of attempt at using deceptive with head on and inner strength.
Oh,
I
really?
know inner strength was one I might have mentioned in top 10, but
Yeah, no.
not
Inner
so.
strength ended up being 16. I don't know where deception is, but nowhere.
Deception is 40.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, that was surprising.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um,
All right, well, that's interesting.
yeah, so I thought so yeah, you see 40% for BT, and then
Hmm.
35% for DS. Like that's why those two being up there, that's why I just played a game of as Pyramid Head, and he just counters the top two
Hmm.
most used perks. That's why he's just so strong. But I mean those two also, I mean I use those two frequently as well because of annoying killers that you play against. You
Absolutely.
just have to have those
Absolutely.
available. Um, and then what else was interesting? I was really happy in these 100 games. I only had 3 objects, so that was nice.
I contemplated going with object, but told
Oh,
myself no,
really?
not enough object users.
Yeah, and then you had said Unbreakable, and that one was actually kind of low for me. I was surprised. In the first half, I played this
Absolutely.
over the course of 2 weekends, playing like 50 games per weekend a couple weeks ago. And first half, it was like no Unbreakables, and then they started popping up in the second one. But yeah, I was really surprised because usually they're way more frequent. But for some reason, out of these 100 games that I recorded, they were just not as high as you would think, but still 14.
Not to mention self care and kindred were pretty close too.
Oh yeah, I was annoyed to see how much self care was being brought. Yeah, happy with Kindred, and also surprised with Plunderers. I was shocked that so many people would
Oh,
use that
geez, number
without
15.
number 15. Yeah, without even like doing a combo with like Ace in the Hole or Appraisal. They were just bringing Plunderers for whatever
Hmm.
reason.
Hmm.
I was surprised.
It's an interesting
Um,
list.
yeah, and then I just want to check out what's at the bottom there. So the perks. So like I said, there were 1,600 options for like perk slots that people could have brought, right?
Right.
And so these perks at the bottom here that never got brought were Breakdown,
Hmm.
Distortion, Open-Handed, Poised, Red Herring. This is not happening. Up the ante and Visionary. You actually use a couple of those. Like, are
Yes,
you
yes,
are
I
you
do.
hoping like why do you use like you use them because you think Visionary is good on certain maps, or do you actually just like it on every map?
So visionary is an interesting one. I do think it's good. It's a strong perk on every map, although it's very beneficial. Mostly, I find on indoor maps,
Hmm.
especially darker ones.
Yeah.
And not only is it strong to find generators, but it also, especially at the start of the game, depending on the certain build you have, it can be useful for other individuals if you combine it with like a better together or something like that. So it allows others to see that already a gen is
Hmm.
being worked on or what the
Yeah,
case
yeah.
is.
With a
But I do
project.
think visionary is a strong perk. It's kind of a built-in. I'm not going to call it a perk for killers, but killers already have a base visionary just
Yes,
so
that's
they can
true.
see gen. So I find it interesting from the survivor point of view.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. And then you also try open-handed sometimes, and you
Yes,
used to do
yes.
distortion, right? I started doing, I think, distortion a little bit after seeing you use it a couple times.
Correct, correct. Both of those are very good. Again, especially combining a lot of these perks towards the bottom of the list
Hmm.
can't be a carry perk. They can't assist you get to the next step, next point of the game. But something like open-handed, which allows you to see a certain distance of auras, adding to your aura perk,
Yeah.
it is quite helpful, especially if you combine it with a left behind, which allows you to see the hatch when you're the last survivor. It can get you quickly to there prior to the killer getting there. But it all open-handed, in my opinion. You have to combine it with certain other perks to make sure it really
What are
you
you
get
using
value.
with it?
So with open-handed, I could go either way. I use Kindred, Bond, um,
Oh,
um,
Bond. Yeah, that makes sense.
any means necessary, and windows of opportunity. Rather, not any means necessary. Sorry, windows of
Hmm.
opportunity, left behind, stuff like that. I find are quite helpful in that regard.
Okay, yeah. And then another thing I just wanted to point out because I made a video for one of these perks is Dead Hard. Dead
Uh-oh.
Hard is number 3. So it was used 137 times, 34%. And so yeah, I have a video, a compilation of the best uses of it and the worst uses of it. So this is here. I'll turn this down maybe a little bit. So yeah, that's like a Dead Hard going through certain powers, like a
Hmm.
Pyramid Head. That was great. Just to get you to a pallet is always helpful. Same thing, just get you to safety through a window like
That's
that.
right.
To give you a little time to point at the killer. That's always great. Sometimes you just use it right in front of the person, like not even to get away, just using it like a normal dead hard at the perfect time, which I have a hard time doing.
That's right. Yep.
I thought that was a solid one. I even knew this guy had dead hard there, so I waited for it, and then he still deked me out there. I was impressed by that.
Yes.
And yeah, just more prime examples of it, just helping all the time. This is why people bring it so much.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it allows. Simply put, it's an invisibility. It's an invisibility. You know, you could dead hard through a killer's trap if you're the trapper, or you could dead hard for distance to a pallet. There's a lot of different ways to use it. But
She just dead hard right there. Oh, this one's so funny.
There you go.
Into the wall.
Yeah.
And then finish the journey. I love that. Oh, and this is the beginning of them not working.
Okay.
Right before this, we had a plague. A person go through the plague spit, and that's
Okay.
not do it. She's just terrible timing.
Right.
And so basically, what you do at that point when you think they might have dead hard is you just say the words "dead hard," and then if they do or don't do it, you wait a second.
That's a good point.
Sometimes people just think that you're visible and can hit you, and it doesn't work. People do it at just awful times like that where they think she thought I was gonna hit her, I guess, but I shocked her.
And that's faded out.
Yeah. And again, if there was a pallet there like before, it would have been great, but just unlucky. And then before, like that other person got to the window in time, and that was just unlucky. Like that could have worked if I was just a little bit further behind.
That's exactly. That's a big timing is a very big thing.
And then if you're a David, I'm pretty much gonna assume you have dead hard. Like I played a game of against an Adam yesterday, and I was like, oh, I bet you have deliverance. I waited around a little bit, and sure enough, he got himself off the hook. So sometimes you have to assume based on what they have. Like here again, I'm like, I already know you have it. Like the dead hard is not helping. Okay, and that's the end of that.
Interesting. That was a good watch.
Yeah, I thought that was just an interesting compilation of just why that perk is used so much, and then why it's also not the best. Because I pretty much assume anybody that's hurt, I'll like give them the benefit of the doubt that they probably have it, and if when I say dead hard they don't do anything, then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll hit you.
Yep. Yeah,
I think that's most of it for perks used. Is there anything else that stands out to you on this list that you see here?
I'm a little surprised. Things like that no mither is used the same amount as something like Better Together. Even even Calm Spirit. Those are quite strong. I know they're more situational, but they're in my opinion a lot stronger than no mither.
Yeah.
So something like that is quite surprising. But aside from that, nothing necessarily stands out. Again, there's perks that fit certain play styles and some that don't, and a lot of the ones that don't are obviously more towards the bottom of the list.
I was surprised to see Iron Will being at exactly a quarter, at 25%. 100 people had Iron Will on, and I'm like, well, like, what do you do against that? Do you just accept it, or do you put like Strider on? Like, I never use Strider, but is that something you might do? And like, it's so used that people are trying to stop.
Exactly.
I guess mainly, I guess just loud characters. Like, I want to have it on a bill or
exactly. Not to mention that, of course.
So maybe it's just not all about. Yeah, sometimes you just need it, and so you don't need to counter it, I guess, because that's just another perk slot only for that, just to make it even. Like it doesn't even do anything because they're already using Iron Will.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know what to do against that. And then Adrenaline so used. Like you just have to assume. I always forget when it comes to like when there's one Jenny left. Like I'm always so shocked when an Adrenaline pops and like the whole team heals up. I'm like, oh my god.
Of course.
And then I'm one of the people that uses Lithe over Sprint Burst. So
of course.
I'm in that group. And then Prove Thyself. Yeah. I'm happy to see Kindred being up there, people helping out.
I agree.
And then same thing with like Will Make It. That's even though it's 18, still higher up there. A lot of people.
I agree. Absolutely. Those are two very strong perks.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the next kind of Family Feud again style of you guessing. So right now we got characters list.
Okay.
So how about you try to guess the top 3 and then bottom 3 most used characters? So let's start with top 3. And so top 3, actually the number 2 slot is actually tie. There's actually 2 in number 2. So your top 3, yeah.
Interesting. So there's possibly 4 correct answers?
No, so sorry. What I mean is, let's just do those as well.
Okay, sure.
But just know that they're tied.
Okay, great. So right off the bat, I'll say Meg.
She is number 1. You got it.
Number
Most
1.
used.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice.
Claudette.
Number 2. You got it.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I thought Claudette might have been number 1. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And number 3.
And then tied with Claudette at number 2.
This is interesting. Bill?
Bill, no.
Okay.
No. So that's
Okay.
1 wrong.
Oh, Fang.
You got it. Yeah.
Fang, of
There
course.
you go.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, good.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, that's the top 3. And then let's try bottom 3. But for this one, number 3 is tied. So there actually are 4 options because there's a tie for 3 for bottom 3.
All right. So I'll unfortunately have to start off with someone I very much enjoy using, Quentin.
Oh, you got it. Number 1 least used. No.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Poor guy. He deserves a little more love.
I guess is that just because of like most people are calling him like ugly, like they don't like the way like the
I have heard
the
the goblin comments. Yes. Unfortunate. All right. Following Quentin. Following Quentin, I'll have to think here. Jeff?
Nope.
Good, okay.
Not bottom 3.
Okay. All right.
So that's 1 wrong.
Right. I want to say Ash.
Are you going with Ash?
I'm gonna go with Ash. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he is tied for 3. So
really?
He's down there. Yeah, you got him. Nice.
Huh.
Nice. One of my most used.
Interesting. Detective Tap?
Yes, number 2.
Oh my god.
Least used.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you got it. Now there's 1 tied with Ash for least used at bottom 3. So you were so close. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Is it Illigy?
No. She is a little higher up there. So you got one more chance.
Few names I'm tossing around, but I feel like they are relatively
who are you
popular.
between?
So I'm feeling Zarina, Cheryl, and possibly Jane, but I know there's a lot of Steve Harrington lovers, so I'm going to exclude Steve. Nancy. I'm gonna go with Zarina.
No, it was actually Adam.
No way. Yeah, are you kidding?
Like the bottom 3 actually the bottom 4 bottom 5. If you want to check out the list, it's if you scroll down, it's you'll be able to see.
Sure, okay.
So we got Lori down there right after Ash, and then you use Lori at Adam Tap. Like these are like your most used. Like it's just so weird.
It seems
you're picking all these characters that are just not popular. Not a bad thing, but just weird.
Interesting. Very interesting, I must say.
Yeah, and then sure enough, top 1 Meg, and these are just like characters that come with the game, right? Like
that's true too, of course.
So people like probably just build in. They already have strong perks, so why not? And they're already invested in them, so they probably just stick with them. And I guess there's some of the characters with the most cosmetics. I guess at this point is the
that's originals. True too. Of course, that's a good pull factor.
Yeah, that's why I got Dwight up there. Nia, Yui. Yui is actually number 5.
Which I'm happy to see. I do use Yui a fair amount as well.
And then you thought Cheryl, right? She was number 7.
And after I said that, I thought to myself, but I think Cheryl has the reputation also of once she's injured, she's one of the quieter survivors. And I know that I think the Pyramid Head release is that chapter was very well received. And I think Cheryl was also a part of that success. So I feel like that makes a little more sense seeing her a little higher.
Yeah. And then so that's that's this list.
Interesting list though.
Used. I didn't really have too much else based off that. That's just
Nancy was quite up there as well.
Yeah, I she also is like I don't know. I jump around from so many characters all the time, but she is one that I see a bunch, kind of with a Cheryl. So it makes sense they're next to each other. And then I was surprised that Bill was kind of down there with Steve, like kind of lower.
Yeah.
But they are, I guess, louder. Is Steve loud? I forget. I just use him anyways.
I think he is. I
Yeah,
think
he's
he
pretty
is.
loud. Next, we got maps. So
Maps.
you can just scroll
Interesting.
down to the next section. We don't have to guess because it's just random. So it's not
Sure.
like there's nothing exciting about guessing because there's no point. There was some offerings used, but
Sure.
only 15 actually offerings used. So most of it, I don't think I think I maybe brought one offering, and it was because I just was tired of like a person using a key or something. Like I just didn't want.
Hmm.
I just wanted to even it out a little bit, something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, we went to McMillan a quarter of the time,
Unbelievable. I am
and
a little surprised that McMillan is very clearly first.
yeah, the one issue though to keep in mind for this is the first half that I did was during the time when Autohaven and Crotus were not playable.
I see. I
So
see.
there is a little bit of a skew. That's why I'm like, I don't know what to think about these stats. I'm like, but it's just going to be happening at all times. Like there's always going to be things going on and wrong. So this is just what was happening when I did this. Yeah, McMillan a lot and Coldwind. Yeah, of course, second most. But like these are like a lot of the maps. Even though I couldn't play Autohaven in the first 50, it's number 3 because people kept wanting to go there.
Hmm.
Second 50. I was happy like with the offerings that were brought. Like some people even brought us to the game or Larry's. I think I actually also I countered a Haddonfield. Like I saw somebody bring a key, and I was like, you know what? If you're bringing a key, I bet you're also going to bring me to a map I don't like. So I countered that, and I was happy
Smart.
to do that. And then yeah, the only other thing, I guess like Hawkins, we never played there. That's the only thing that's kind of like I was happy to play me playing a bunch. Same with like Dead Dog right above that.
Of course.
Not too pumped about Yomoka because I find I usually lose there. But I went to try to see which maps I lost the most on, and it really varied a lot. I think Coldwind a couple times, but it was the most one I played the most, and it's a tougher one. Yeah, nothing too crazy about this. Just have these stats also.
It's definitely interesting. I am not necessarily very surprised, but to see where they all rank is quite interesting.
Mm. Okay, and so now we're gonna do what perks I brought to most of these games. And so
Ooh.
one thing to keep in mind is the way that I decided which killer to play is the first 22 or so games I played every killer.
Okay.
Kind of go through it at least once, and
Okay.
then from then on I just played what I wanted to play, whatever I was feeling at the time. So sometimes I would change perks, but rarely. So we're gonna get you to guess the top 5 most used perks that I use across
Oof.
all killers.
Okay. Interesting. That's okay. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know we've had conversations about this, and I know you're a very skilled killer and that you don't necessarily use the favorited perks a lot.
I try not to use them,
Yeah.
but I still have some strong perks that
And you said you
that I got in my
played all
arsenal.
killers. Okay. Well, I'll start with barbecue.
Yeah, so that is one I've taken off my roster.
Okay. Okay.
So no barbecue.
Okay. So barbecue's out.
I used it once.
Maybe sloppy butcher.
Yep, that's in there. That's number 4.
Okay. Now I know there's a comfortable pairing with sloppy butcher and thanatophobia, possibly.
No, that's
Okay.
not up there. It's 2 wrong.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. See now. There's a lot of good options, and it's tough. It could be hex perks. Actually, that being said, I mean, ruin.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
number 3.
I'm surprised it took me that long to get ruin.
Yeah.
Okay, so ruin. Again, try this out. Pop.
No. All right. So
Oh,
yeah, that's 3 wrong. But very very strong guesses. Pop was in top 10.
okay.
There's number 7. But for
Okay.
this top 5 that we were guessing, number 5 was Surge. I was using Surge.
Oh wow.
I've been in
Good
a
for
real
you.
Surge mood. It's just I just find it to be so strong, like damaging a bunch of Jennies. It
Of
works.
course.
Stuff it down people anyways. You're getting information where like things are being worked on possibly. Yeah, like I've been loving it. And then number 2 was Discordance. Same
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yep.
You can get an early game. You can see if two people started next to each other, pop on a Jenny. Later in the game, when you're just looking for info and you're seeing where people are or where they're going to be later. People, and as you saw in that list, like number 9 or whatever was Prove Thyself. So people are trying to work together. I've been trying to do it with my Prove Thyself use. So yeah, Discordance I felt was pretty strong, and so I used that 44 times. And then I'm All Ears was my
I'm
number
all
one
ears.
most
Yeah, that
used.
I did
Um,
cross my mind, but I know that I'm all
mhm.
ears. It's a good perk across the board, but it
Yeah,
really works well on certain killers. But didn't
yeah.
think it was top 5. Hey, good. That's
Oh
good to
yeah,
hear.
that's my number one most used. I used it 48 times. If you want to pull up the list, you could check it out.
Sure. Let's see.
Um,
There we go.
yeah. So there were a possible 78 killer perks are out right now, and if you
Hmm.
look, like I only used 31, and some of them I only used a couple times. Like that's like 40 perks or so I'm not using.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I didn't even look at them or think of them
Yeah.
some of
Look
the
at that.
time.
Yeah.
And yes, normally I would no, I've just been trying not to use a barbecue and things like, but I used them on, like, I think it was Nurse. I used like No Edge
Right.
barbecue pop. I was trying to use things that yeah were super handy.
Sure. Sure.
Nurses,
Of
same
course.
thing. I tried. Used to use Nurses a lot, and I've weeded myself off. I only used it on Nurse.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, like you probably thought, Corrupt was in the top 10. Infectious up there.
Yes. Oh
Um,
wow. Infectious made it to top 10. That's great.
Yeah, I've been liking that one. I actually just found how good Infectious was on Pyramid Head. I didn't realize, but if you like down someone, then and they're like tormented,
Yes.
then you just immediately can make a call based off of if anyone else is in the area with Infectious. Like you're, oh, I'll send you in the cage, and then now I'll immediately go for the other person. But
Exactly.
it's just so good for knowing and scaring people away. Like if they were trying to do like a flashlight save or a pallet save, like it scares people away because you know they're there now or
Definitely. I
not. So
agree.
that's why, yeah, that one is so good. I was doing a lot of the surveillance ruin combo,
Mm-hmm.
which is really handy, obviously for however long ruin lasts. And so, speaking of that, now I used ruin 33 times, and actually, I think I have it available for you to check out. If you scroll down, you can check out the ruin stats. I used it 33
Oh, there we go.
times, and 27% of the time I did not lose it. So a quarter of the time it was able to last the whole round, and it probably helped me win the game because of like a surveillance combo. And then but 73% of the time I did lose it. And if I did lose it, I usually lost it at the 3-minute 48. That was the average. 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the round is when I lost it. So it's like, was it worth it? Sometimes it really helps with the surveillance. Like if somebody hops on the Jenny and then gets off of it, you know exactly where to go because they're
Yes.
checking to see if you have ruin, and then they show you that they got off the Jenny, and then it shows that. So that's really handy. But I don't know. Like I'm going to continue still using it, but it's interesting just to see how often it's actually lasting and how long. Like it is so annoying to have them get lost, but it's just bound to happen. And with an Undying combo helping, I've been using Undying even more. I thought I stopped. I stopped. I thought it was going to be bad, but it's still always great just to have that extra little bit of time with Ruin
Of
up
course, it
and
applies
Undying.
pressure to the survivors.
Yeah, and then I'm guessing the other part of the time that they stayed alive was just because of like great spawns, like just in a hidden corner. Yeah, how often are you using Ruin when you're playing killer?
Uh, quite honestly, I don't use
No,
my mindset. I'm not a very strong killer, and this might be why, but I like to have perks that, for the most part, will either last me the entire game in terms of something survivors can't do something about.
or like a pop thrilling combo.
Correct, or
Mm,
something like that, right? To slow the game down. I don't use ruin too often,
hmm.
and same goes for other hex perks.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to use. Actually, I only used Undying 3 times. I guess that's surprising to me. Yeah, I do love a Ruin Haunted Ground combo. Um,
Oh yes,
I do find that to be a lot of fun. That way, you don't know what you're protecting, but I'm gonna protect it and hope that it is Haunted Ground after I protect it.
exactly. It's a mind game.
Hmm. Yeah, is there anything that stands out here, like that you see
Nothing,
like
nothing,
using? No. Okay.
nothing really. I was just looking at to see what was towards the bottom
Yeah.
of the list, and I noticed something like Spirit Fury isn't necessarily used,
Hmm.
but again, it's one of those perks similar to what we discussed when it came to the Survivor side of things. That once you combine it with something else like an Enduring,
Yeah,
it's a lot stronger. It's something that with another perk can do a lot of damage, but on its own will save time, but maybe not enough.
for sure. Yeah, and I guess yeah, just it just didn't make it any of my rotations, but I have tried it once or twice. But yeah, just not too
Right,
often.
right. But
Uh,
no, I agree I mean, agree. For the most part, I
mhm.
fully see why the top 10 is the way it is, and even a little after that, I can completely see all those perks. They're very strong.
Yeah, and so like I said, usually Ruin was lost around the 3 minute 48 second mark, and I actually found I did the average time of most games, and it turned out most games were around 11 minutes and
Huh.
22 seconds. So
Interesting.
yeah, like you're saying, like I'm only getting to use Ruin for the most part, like for the first bit of the game, and well, if you have a pop on, then it just lasts the whole time and can just really do so much damage. While even though I like the idea of gambling with Ruin, it's actually I don't
Exactly.
know
Exactly.
how handy it is for me.
It's nice to see
Mm.
as well that hoarder's on there, and that's not necessarily, of course, the highest, but it's another one of those perks that is going to catch Survivor off guard.
Oh, definitely. And now that I've put that combo, the Hoarder Franklin's combo on Spirit, I
Ooh,
I see who gets on yeah, exactly. A chest, and then I go into my power and I zoom across over, and by the time they're opened it, I'm there. And
quite strong, absolutely.
it's yeah, people don't expect it. It's so handy. All right. Next up, talking about all this. Now we've gone through what I went against. We talked about what I used, which maps. So the ratio, the kill ratio. I think you have a graph that I sent, right? The pie graph.
Correct. Yes.
So we're gonna pull that up. I was pretty happy and lucky that a lot of I got a bunch of 4Ks, and
Oh,
I was
there we
pumped
go.
about that. I got
Absolutely.
45% 4Ks, 19% 3Ks, 14% 2Ks, 11% one, and 11% zero. So I was pretty pumped based off of wins. Like each time I would like start like the games. I think in my first 10 games I had like 8 4Ks and 2 3Ks. I was just like, what is going? I'm so happy. Like, I should always be recording all my games based off of that start that I had. So yeah, 276 out of 400 kills. So yeah, I was just pretty pumped based off of how things were going. There was
No doubt.
I was pumped, or I was surprised that there was only 7 keys brought in throughout all
Oh,
these.
wow. Okay.
In this there were 17 hatch escapes.
Okay.
Um, and in these games I was talking about the oh yeah, the game length. And so the shortest game I had was 5 minutes and 2 seconds, and it was because of, like I had said before, a surveillance ruin combo where somebody got on the the generator, then they got off of it to see if I had ruin, and then they got back on it. And so it showed me that with surveillance where they were when they did that test. So I went over there, I downed them quickly, and then haunted ground triggered, and I got 2 other people down. So I just had like the strongest start where after I got 3 dead, the other guy got the hatch, and I was like, yeah, you guys got no jennies, and it was just
That's what you want.
that's how you can get like the quickest game of 5 minutes. And then the longest game was 20 minutes because there was a 3 gen on Dead Dog, and I was Deathslinger. And so
Oh,
having like the saloon that I can easily just threaten with the gun on at the bottom, and
of course.
yeah, so that's how you get those long games with a 3 gen. I think in your document, I think I added the stats for the games. If you just see like the kill ratio, I think I put
The
that
game
there.
length, sorry.
Game and game kills and game length. That just shows, yeah,
Yes.
like
Okay.
the order that I had for kills and how long they were. Nothing too crazy here. Just like you just see the beginning strong start with all those fours and threes,
Definitely.
and yeah, was pumped about that. I only had 2 or 3 disconnects, so that's not too bad.
Okay.
And I didn't count games where somebody disconnected at the beginning. I only counted the games where they disconnected because they rage quit. That they didn't like whatever I was doing, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's most of the stats that I found. And so the last thing that I wanted to show you was the best moments. So I have a highlights clip of the best moments
Excellent.
throughout. I'll kind of like maybe explain what's going on during each moment, and hopefully you can enjoy the
That
fun.
sounds great.
Yeah, so here you can see this.
Alrighty.
All good?
Yep.
Okay.
All good.
And here we go. So this is, yeah, kind of like near the end of the game. I already got 2 kills. I'm chasing this Meg, and I'm like, there we go. I got her. I don't know where the ace is, but I'm like, the only thing that could stop me right now is if he head-ons me in that locker. Sure enough, he does.
There you go. Good
And
call with the Iron Maiden,
I
however.
always have Iron Maiden on my Bubba, and so it just works out so perfectly that he was hiding right here, and, and I just got him right there, and it pretty much ended soon after that. But I thought that was really funny.
That was a great play.
This was crazy, where I was in a chase with somebody, and then another person got down because their BT ran out, or like the endurance thing after I hit them.
Of course.
And so they got downed over here, and then the other person ran to it. And unfortunately, I hit the wrong person. I hit the healthy person, and they finished the Jenny. But I'm like, oh my god, what is going on right now? I got that person down. I got this person down. And I was just like, it was just a crazy, crazy start. But I knew that person had a flashlight. So I was trying to make sure I got her, and she just had a sick dead hard there. And I'm like, oh, another person, that person just got up already. So I was just really freaking out. They're dead harding. And at this point, I'm just trying to add as much pressure as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
People are crawling everywhere. So I'm like, I need to get somebody picked up. And then sure enough,
Of course.
it's
Of
bound to
course.
happen. I'm like, I need to get the other person now. And they're already up and they blocked. Like, it was just such great teamwork. I just had to give it to this team.
The coordination, of
Yeah,
course.
the coordination was just amazing. But then you know what? I know how coordinated they are, and I know how altruistic they are. So at other moments when I had people down, I knew that girl was going to be waiting, so I didn't pick up because I knew that they were a good team.
Absolutely.
And I think the same thing happened here, where this other girl doesn't know I have I'm all ears all the time, so she's waiting there, and I already would have known she was waiting there.
Oh my god, there you go.
That's just like pattern recognition. Like, I knew they were a good team and altruistic from that first play, that from then on I had to do that.
It's
This is-
adapting.
Yeah, so this is a weird scenario where I didn't want to use my power because I had this David 99 and I got seen beforehand, so I wasn't trying to hit him. So
Okay.
he must have told his teammate that I wasn't hitting, so she came up and was like, what's going on? And I think we've been in this scenario where you and I have been confused, like, oh, they're not hitting us, and so we think that they're being friendly, and that they're actually just using their power.
Of course.
And so the David thinks I'm like his buddy, so he's not even running because I wasn't hitting him, and now my power's ready, and I down him in one shot.
There you go.
So that's just kind of, yeah, just don't ever think that the killer's your buddy.
Absolutely. You can't trust anyone.
No. This was my first best nurse game. This is how it started. I checked to the side just to see if anybody spawned on the same side of the map as me. No scratch marks in here, but I saw her in here. I'm like, she has to be in one of these 2 lockers. And I got lucky. She was in the
There you go.
locker. And I got the basement right behind me. It was just such a strong start that I was really pumped to have that. By that point, this is near the end of the game. I already got that person killed because I made sure with that strong start I got them. And then what am I doing? Get them on the hook. I got 2 people left. I was just really freaking out. I'd never done anything this good, and these 2 are healing right here while I have nurses.
There you
I
go.
was just so excited. Oof. Amazing dead hard there. Like,
Of course, that was a good blink, but of course, the dead hard.
yeah, dead hard is such a great counter to nurse. And then these 2, just the best thing you could do is chasing 2 people in the same loop. And I can't even, like, I actually can't even pick her up because he's got a flashlight. So I don't
course.
want him to, like, I want to keep the pressure up. And I don't want to get these 2 out with that hit. When you finally get somebody downed as a nurse, you have to just keep it. This is actually a mistake. I tried to go further and the blink messed up and went like closer to me and he turned around. So that was just
Worked
very
in your
lucky.
favor. There you go.
Oh yeah. So right now I'm just like so pumped, but I need to go back. I need to stop this unbreakable from happening from her.
Correct.
That happens. And then I'm like, okay, phew. I'm all good. I got it. My first 4K as nurse. And yeah, I didn't even have to use the NOED. And then sure enough, Steve picks himself up. I'm like, no! And then I blink over at the perfect spot there, and it worked out.
Perfect.
Yeah,
There you go. It's an exciting feeling, quite honestly.
It was very exciting. Yeah, I've been trying to play Nurse a lot more, which has been nice with the this newest tome.
Yes.
This was funny. I was in the middle of the chase with that girl, and then I'm like, "What is this sound over here?" She threw down the pallet to try to pick it up for that.
For any means there we go.
For the any means necessary challenge. So I thought that was hilarious. And then this is the end of the game. I've got 8 stacks. The Lori's just hiding right there. I'm like, I can hit her once and then hit her again right after, and that was the end.
The power of save the best for last.
Oh yeah, well, on demo especially.
Absolutely.
This was like kind of like a funny thing where I was like, you know what? I'm Myers. I'm on his map. I'm gonna do something kind of fun. Like I want to be in the head of the killer, the lore. So I'm gonna go to Myers' house and I'm gonna like hang out in his like room, and I'm gonna try to watch the survivors from his point of view, like where he would be hanging out in the map. So I make myself to my house and I go up the stairs. I'm like, this one's probably his room, right? And I set up at the window, and then sure enough, as if just on cue, there's 2 people right there.
Oh my goodness me!
And I'm like, this is perfect. So I'm just stalking them, and they go on the thing that she's watching her. They're like, where is that going from? They kind of look around to see if I'm in the area.
Yeah, a bit of panic.
Yeah, I get so excited that it just triggers. I'm from up there. Like, I just didn't even know what was going on. I was just so I was like so in the character that they didn't know where I was coming from. Like, why would I trigger it from up there? So they didn't know where to run.
That's a very good combination.
Oh, so watch this. This is the bar in slow mo. This is frame by frame how it went up, and then it's going so slow on the left side, and then in the same speed, it just went that entire thing up there. So that's why it happened like that.
I see.
That's super annoying. So it was nice to get confirmation that I'm not a crazy person. So this was a match just to show this person, tournament player, this Nancy. She was so annoying. There's the first time I heard this flashlight clicking this fast, like that sound you hear. I'd never heard it before. It was so fast, and she kept annoying me and kept interrupting chases and bringing me back to the shack. So I would just have to stop going for her and go for the weak links because she was just so strong. And then you see that, like she was just insane. I was like, I can't pick her up. She's gonna stun me. So I'm like, now is probably the best time. I should not have thrown this here because she dead hards over to knock it down. She was just so great, an actual tournament player.
Wow.
Yeah. It was frustrating, but she was just so good. That's why it made this moment so sweet. That I noticed she had a key, and they found the hatch, and they got out there, and they left their tournament player in the map. they had 3-gen themselves for so long, and left her there after all this time of her running me around this shack. So I brought her back to the shack, her favorite place.
There you go.
And got her here, and I'll be honest, I left her here for a little while. I needed to show her.
It's the right thing to do when you know, depending on how the players play and the situation and all this and that. But if you're asking for the killer's attention and you get it, then you can't necessarily complain when it doesn't go your way.
I just wanted to show which perks she had there. She had resilience and spine chill, which is why she was going through windows so fast.
Of course.
Oh, and this is just this was for you.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, I think one of these people.
Two favorite characters.
Yeah, right together. This is my only Mori I brought because they had brought in a key, and I wasn't having it, and we ended up going to Haddonfield too, so I just had to include that.
Okay, yes.
At the beginning of this round, as Myers, this girl's just running to me, and that's when she realizes when she gets that far.
In the hallway too. That's
in
always
the hallway.
trouble.
Like, it was just such an amazing map for Myers. This is like a crazy thing where I actually had more stacks available, but I didn't press the button in time, so I didn't get there. But he jumped in the locker anyways, and I got him with Iron Maiden. So this is the beginning, very first chase of the game. And now this is the end of the game. Only that Dwight is left. And sure enough, he hid in a locker thinking I had barbecue, even though he knew I had that. Very first thing you saw. Yeah, he saw I had it.
Absolutely.
And then he showed himself where he was at the end of the game. And I was able to get him there. So you just got to learn and remember what happened earlier, and this Dwight could not do that. This is just the exact same example of how it's supposed to work. They hide in the locker when you're doing that, and then you hit them. The other thing was a fluke. This is how it's supposed to work, and
Absolutely, yep. That's quite strong.
why I bring that on everyone. This was crazy. I close it in front of her, but forget she has a key, and so she opened it right after.
Oh my goodness.
I know. That was just so exciting for me.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen two like that real quick.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. This one was so funny where I'm like, I got fat shamed there. I could not go through that tree.
I've been in that position as well.
She didn't see me coming. So this girl brought me up here while the other girl was looking through that chest. So I really appreciated that. And then I ended up chasing this Meg, and she fell off there, and I got the Meg, so I put her on the hook down below. But I remember the LG was still upstairs, so I'm like, I'm gonna go get her. And then the Cheryl pops up.
Oh,
I'm like, what the hell? Then the LG hops back out the window to block the Cheryl.
Oh my goodness me.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'll break this. And that person's on the hook below me still. I bet that LG is gonna go down and get her off. And then
No way. Oh
this
my
LG was just like
goodness.
MVP for me.
That was
Let's get this gen and then.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
So
doesn't
this is one of
realize,
the
then I can
cool people that I
tickle
played
you.
against. I played against
I'll
a
let you
couple
know
of
if I'm
Twitch
getting,
streamers.
Oh fuck.
Where's he going?
No spine chill yet. Wait, don't finish it. Oh yeah, finish it.
see what happens here.
I hate this map so much. It is
Whoa! There's no way Oni could have done that. There's no fucking way.
So yeah, I was so pumped to play against these guys. They were so
He
chill,
did
and they're such a great
180.
team. And this guy's so
Pretty
great.
much. There's
Yeah,
no
they seem
Great
yeah,
thing.
they seem very fun.
I saved my yeah, he's a fucking great Oni. I saved my sprint burst because like there's no way he's gonna hit that.
And then there
That's
were like cool
nice.
moments of this, like me going over that
Conspiracy
hill
video.
there. I thought that was so great. And they got down to one Jenny. They did such a great job, even after I had so much map pressure. Sure enough, I always bring I'm all ears, so that did not work out for him.
Scared the fuck out of me.
But yeah, yeah. So these guys were just so great. I talked to them afterwards. They're actually also from Ontario, which is cool. They were from like Niagara.
Oh wow,
Yeah, like what are the odds? And
that's awesome.
So yeah, it was just cool to see these guys being so nice. Like even in the chat afterwards, like he was saying nice things, and I was talking to them
Oh,
for a
wait.
bit.
Can you even see what I'm writing?
Yeah, I
Honestly-
did. 'Cause I popped in his Twitch. I saw.
Okay, honestly, yeah, the stuff like that
Aw, 'cause
is
he was actually
really
good. Like, as
something
a-
to stop
if
and
he was
think
a
about
console
because,
player,
as you know, and as many people know, the
That's pretty
community
good.
is very, very toxic. And seeing people acknowledge skill instead of saying or placing blame or whatever the case may be really goes a long way. It's nice to see that.
Yeah, and so here's another guy I played against where I don't even want to show the match because I had such a bad match. I just was not doing anything right.
He's not even a he's not even a PC person.
I just thought this guy was so funny. And again, it's just
GG's.
being
Yep.
nice and. And he's wondering what happened to me, why I had such a bad match.
Oh no!
A midlife crisis.
Oh no!
Future matches, dudes.
Well, but still, he's just being nice and just
Yep.
thinking like, oh,
Of
give
course.
him the benefit of the doubt,
Honestly,
going through a rough
I
time.
think Legit was just having a midlife crisis. You know, I think he was just having a quick midlife crisis to a scenario. You know, the killer was not using his ability,
I
and the
wasn't.
killer would leave.
Because this
everyone
guy
alone
used
after
no
like 10
no mither. He was one of the
10
people
seconds.
because one of his chat
The
made him use
dinger-
it.
the dinger's
So I didn't know how to
Okay.
use it with Legion. Because I was like, I want to hit him. I don't want to use my power against him.
Exactly.
So this was a weird thing. This is like the last clip. This was I noticed that Claudette was working on that Jenny while she had the thing on her head beeping. I'm like, what are you doing? So I decided to follow her over here in my power so I wouldn't be chasing her. I just wanted to watch the thing go.
Oh.
I don't know if she even understands that how it works because she was working on the Jenny while the thing was beeping. So
Yeah, no, there's 3 gens left.
yeah. So I don't know. This is just like one of the things you always hope for as a pig. is
you
for
go.
your crap to actually work. Yeah, and so that was the highlights of my 100 games.
Those were quite honestly very, very entertaining, educational, even from various point of views. I think it's super cool to see how the mindset is and the abilities of certain killers and their powers and how to really use them. You know, it's a lot of different approaches, and it's always nice to see.
Definitely, yeah. Well, yeah, thanks. Thanks for helping me with this video, Will. I think that's pretty much everything I learned from this. I always like seeing these kind of infographics of how, like, what people are bringing, how it's working, the successes, the randomness, and yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll have you on in another video.
Absolutely, that was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Cool. See you, Will.
Bye.